All right, I think we're live. How are you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so hello, everybody. Welcome to our new session on Google Classroom. GEG South Carolina and GEG UK present Google Classroom, but we changed the name of it from the good stuff to now we are calling it Fun with Classwork and Google Meet integration. And the reason we've changed this up is just to kind of break everything into smaller chunks. So our first video went an hour and a half, which was great because we had a lot of good conversations in the chat and things like that. So we like that, but we also know a lot of people aren't going to tune in for an hour and a half. So we're going to try to condense these down into different segments. So today we'll focus on the Classwork page and what you can do with Classwork, and then we'll go into Google Meet, and then Ben has a very cool tool to show you and to share how that can help you with your Google Classroom management. And I have my infant 1 month old, or going on 1 month old here, so hopefully he will behave for this as well. No crying. But the chat is very active. I want everybody just take a moment, say hello. I see a lot of people saying hello already, but if you haven't said hello in the chat, go ahead and introduce yourselves while we introduce ourselves. I am Jared Johnson. I'm a digital learning coach in South Carolina. I'm also leader of South Carolina GEG. And my co-host over here, or which way am I pointing? I guess I'm pointing that way.
That way. Yeah, that's me. So hello, everyone. I'm Ben Moore. I'm an associate teacher, lettings and health and safety coordinator for 2 secondary schools here in Essex in the UK. I'm also the youngest Google certified trainer in the world right now. So I'm really excited to be presenting here with Jared again today in our second part of this series. And, you know, thanks to everyone for joining us today. It's really, really great to see you all.
Yes, let's see. Hello, Emma, Tamina. Is it? I don't know if I might mispronounce it. Adrienne Jones, Nicole, Anna, Ellen, Paul, Kristen. Hello, everybody there in the chat. We are glad to see you. Definitely let us know where you're from, too. We'd love to know who is all watching us live. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen. All right, so welcome to Google Classroom, Classwork Fun, along with Google Meet. Again, I'm Jared, and my partner in crime here is Ben. And our learning targets for today, or objectives, depending on where in the world you're from, is today we're going to focus on bookmarking the Classwork page, organizing topics and the contents inside those topics, so your assignments, your resources, things like that, by clicking and dragging, how to post and reuse assignments, how to assign work to individuals or small groups, and then using Google Meet in Google Classroom. So let's dive in. So let me change my tab here.
I like it.
Try to keep it as concise as possible. So last week, our first video series focused on just an overview of Google Classroom. So we didn't do a lot of deep diving, but we did a good overview. So we discussed the different pages across the top of Google Classroom. So you have your stream, which is kind of like your stream of consciousness. So, you know, posts and announcements, things that you want to call students' attention to. You can put there. Also, anything that you assign in Classwork also goes to stream, but we showed you how to turn that on and off, depending if you want that on or off. But then you have Classwork, and Classwork is where all your assignments live, your organization, probably the most important part of Classroom. Now, we showed you last time, too, how to get into Google Classroom. So you can go to classroom.google.com, or you can go to the Waffle. So if you're signed into your Gmail or into Drive or into Chrome, you can go to the Waffle and you can choose Google Classroom from there. But if you want to make things a little bit faster, not only for yourself, but especially for your students, we recommend bookmarking your classwork page for each class. And students can do this for each of their classes and putting it on their bookmarks bar in Chrome. So that way it's just one less click or one less move they have to make to get to the classwork page, the most important. So to do that is fairly easy. So as a student, you would have them navigate to their classwork page like we're in here, and then just have them go up to the star in the Omnibox, star it. Now they can rename it. I'm going to definitely recommend renaming it to say, you know, Mr. Johnson's social studies class, or however it might be, to make it easier for them to know which classes they're clicking. It automatically does name it for you, but it can be a very long name, so kids can shorten that up. And I'm going to change my folder here. And so I'm going to go ahead and click done. And then what I want to do is I want to add it to my bookmarks bar so I can get to it a lot faster. So what I can do, I have so many bookmarks, is go to my bookmarks. There we go. Locate where it's at. And then I can click and drag it to my bookmarks bar in Chrome, and so there we have it. But you can also teach the students to put it into a folder. So if you want to organize it by folder, so you can have a Google Classroom bookmarks folder, and then their different classes can live there, or you can kind of put it across your bookmarks bar, and they can click and get immediately to the classwork page. So Ben, have you done that before?
Yeah, I mean, what I personally do and get my students to do, just in terms of, because I'm in a lot of classrooms and so are they, I actually go to the courses page. So I go to the hamburger and click on courses and just bookmark that page. So I have easy access to all of my classrooms in one go. That's just something I do personally, but you know, here's where, yeah, on that screen, so you'd have all your Google Classrooms there, bookmark that page, and you go directly there, one click, and it, you know, it gives you access to all of them really quickly. So that's personally what I do, but it's everyone's personal preference. It's whatever works for you as an educator.
That is right. But it's a good way to bookmark, good way to get kids there a lot faster with less clicking.
Definitely.
Because we all have limited time. So the faster the better. All right, so that is just adding bookmarks. So another option you can do is rearranging your classwork page. So when you go to create a new topic, your topics, whatever the latest one is going to sit there at the top. Your newest one sits at the top. But let's say you're planning ahead and you don't want the one that you just created sitting at the top. You're still in, say, ecology. So the neat thing is you can actually click and drag your topics around the screen to reorder them. Like what we have here, today's work, you could put your bell ringers, your get started, today's work, that kind of stuff can also live up at the top. So you can constantly kind of reorganize things as you need to. But I can click and I can drag my topics around. So I can reorder. But again, like I said, if like today's work or your bell ringer work, if you want that to live up at the top, every time you create a new topic, just know it's going to drop down. And so you'll have to then click and drag and rearrange it back to the top. You can also do this with what lives inside of the topic. So again, if you're planning ahead and you're just going ahead and creating everything you need to create, you can reorder it too. So I want Unit 1 to be the first thing. I don't want my quiz to be the first thing that the students want to, or to go to. I want it in a sequential order. So I can click and drag my assignments or my resources. I can drag within the topic as well. So this is a good way to put things in a sequential order if you want students to be able to, he's asleep, yay. I put him to sleep, yay. You can do that as well. So you can order your topics and order what is inside of those topics. And Ben, do you have any tips on the way that you organize or things that you've seen that has worked well for others?
I mean, yeah. So what I do is I use that today's work topic, and I also have like a previous work topic. So I keep my students' work for the day. I manually put in there each day for them, so it's all located in one place. And then any work that they should have done yesterday or last week all gets moved into another topic called previous work. It's all in order where it should be. From yesterday's lesson will be at the top of that previous work topic. But you can add emojis to your tasks if you want to, task names, which I could probably join on. Actually, it's not something that's in the schedule, but it's something I can show you when I do my bit in a few minutes. Really simple to do.
Are you trying to give away what's going to be our last video in the series?
No.
Are you trying to jump ahead, Ben? What are you doing? We got to get everybody to keep coming back.
Oh no! Well, yeah, I said that. We'll do that in the third session. But it's all over the place.
We're just excited. Hey, we're having fun with this. So
that's it. Yeah.
So I think if people wanted to watch, you and I could probably spend a good chunk of the day just playing around in Classroom and having people watch us.
We're our own comedy acts. We just laugh at each other all day. We get distracted of doing stuff, but
we really do. All right. So that's how to rearrange your classwork, your topics, and inside and the contents inside those topics. Now, another option you have, or another thing we can do, the other part is when you go to create an assignment, and this could be really useful, especially if you're trying to build collaborative groups or if you are trying to have students do extended work. Ooh, my screen is not moving up. Go back up. There we go. So let's talk about creating custom assignments. So we're going to go to create, and this works for your poll questions. This can work for a quiz. So if you only want to give a quiz to certain students or to one particular student, you can do that with. So what I'm about to show you works for all of these here. But we're just going to go to assignment for this one. And so like we showed you in the last video, like we showed you in the last video, you give your assignment a name. So just say sample assignment here, and you give your instructions. You add your file from Drive. If you have a file or a template or a resource that you want to add in from Google Drive, you can do that here. So we'll just grab a file from Drive, just so that we can kind of show everybody how that is done.
Yeah.
And my computer's going slower, so we'll see what happens here.
But I think it's just it's every time you guys do a demo, it does it on purpose. I'm sure it does. Mine's doing the same now as well.
Well, so I make this joke quite often, and some people find it funny. Some people look at me like I've lost my mind. But technology is like a dog at a dog show, So you take it out on stage, and the dog will do its tricks, just like technology. Show it off. Technology will do its tricks. Everything is great. But every once in a while, just like a dog, you walk the dog on stage, the dog just craps on the stage and doesn't do anything. And technology's the same way. So
exactly the same, yeah.
It could be one of those moments right now. So we're creating our assignment. Again, when you add a file from Drive, or if you create it, because again, you also have the create button. So if you don't have a template or anything automatically in Drive, you can create it right here. And then once you attach the file, again, it gives you the options of students can view the file if you just want them to look at it. All students can edit the file or make a copy for each student. So if we're doing group work, say we're doing small group work, and I have a template for group A, I'm just going to say the students can edit the file who are in this group. So I don't want to make a copy for each of them. I just want them to edit all that same one there. And then I'm going to go over here to the right-hand side. I'm going to put it under a topic because we'll just say that it is part of today's work. Give it a due date. So let's go ahead and give it a due date. Remember, when you assign things with a due date, it does show up on Google Calendar for the student, which is good. And you can also add a time if you want to. And then over here at the top, So last week we talked about, 4, you can assign it to multiple classes if this was something that was going to other classes, but the power here is where it says all students. So I don't want this to go to all students. I want this to go to a particular group. And right now we only have 2 students in our class, but that's okay. You'll get the point. So I'm going to uncheck all students. And I'm going to check the students that I want in this group. So student 1 and student 3, they're going to be in this group. This is their assignment. This is the document I want them to add or to edit. And then I'm just going, oops, all students got selected again. There we go. 1. Oh, it's because we only have 2 students in there. That's right. So we'll pretend we clicked user 3 or student 3. And then we're just going to click assign. And so only those students will receive this assignment. And it'll show up on your Classwork stream. So you'll see that it will show up on your Classwork stream. And so when you name it, you might want to name it group A, group B, group C, whatever your naming convention might be. So you will see it, but the student on their side, they're only going to see that assignment. So if Ben and I are working together, we will only see that. But let's say Johnny and Casey, they won't see that assignment. They will see what was given to them. And again, you can do this as well for individual students. So if you have a student that missed a lot of work or missed a lot of class, you can assign them different things as well. But again, you will see it in your Classwork page, but the rest of your class won't. It'll only go to those particular students. So it's kind of a very powerful.
And just think, it's a really good question actually from Teresa, which I'm just going to pop on the screen.
Okay.
Saying about when you're assigned an assignment, you've got the option to view, edit, or make a copy. But if you want to change the option once you saved, it doesn't let you. So I'm just wondering if you could just show us or talk through that just a little bit with us if possible.
So when you're say the question again. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
So in effect, when you put an assignment on Google Classroom, you have those options to create a copy for each student, or view the file only, or make a copy for each student. And once you set that to either view or edit, you're not going to be able to change it to make a copy and to delete it and restart it. It's one of the horrible things.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize, guys. It's my kids coming in out of the door, and Ben was breaking up there too. So yes, so when you go to create it, so the downside of Google Classrooms is, so whatever option you choose, if you choose the wrong option or you forget to make a selection and you go ahead and assign it, as of right now, there's no way to go back and edit that or to change that. You have to delete the entire assignment and do it over again. That is a feature that I know a lot of teachers keep telling Google, please fix, and maybe it'll be in the next update, fingers crossed. But yeah, right now, if you make a mistake here, you do have to delete the entire assignment and reassign.
Yeah.
That's a downside there.
That is, but it's going to really help for all of us. If you want to see these features, on the bottom left of Jaren's screen at the moment, you'll see you have the question mark icon, and it's submit your feedback to Google. They really do read those feedback forms. They really do take on board what you say. So click on that feedback and report. Click a button that Jared did there, send feedback, and you can give them, ideas what you think to be, what you want to be incorporated in Classroom. So the more people that do this, the higher up it goes in their priority list. So I can't recommend enough submitting that feedback to push that right up into the next update. So the power's over to you guys on that.
Yeah, and it's really true because they do have live people looking at those. So the more you request different things, the more they get of that, the more likely they are to go ahead and implement those changes. And so Google Classroom has changed immensely because of teacher feedback.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry to interrupt. I just saw that come through and I thought I could really question.
Oh, no, that's great. And I apologize for all of the noise on my end because it's the fun of working from home.
It's for children. That's what that is.
That's right. And apparently somebody dropped chocolate milk outside, so
Oh dear.
upset people.
What a waste of chocolate milk.
Yes. Don't cry over spilled milk, but my 5-year-old will. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about, so we talked about organizing the topics and by clicking and dragging, assigning to individuals or groups. So the last thing we want to show you is how to reuse assignments. So in Classroom, you can actually pull assignments from previous years or from other classes, whatever that you need to pull assignment for. So I have a lot of stuff living in my school district account. So I'm going to switch over here to my school district classroom. And let's say I have an assignment that I want to reuse from a couple years ago. So everything, like we talked about last time, everything lives in Google Drive. So when you create a Google Classroom, it creates a Google Classroom folder in your Drive, and inside that Drive folder are all the classes you've ever created, all the resources you've ever posted or created to it. Same thing for students. That's why the nice thing is students their work doesn't really get lost unless they force it to get lost. Everything lives inside of that folder. So they can always go back to that folder to pull resources out instead of it living freely in Drive in an unorganized fashion. So what I want to do, so I'm going to create an assignment, and I want to reuse an assignment from a couple years ago because I was like, oh, this is a brilliant assignment. I want to reuse it. So you go to the create button and you say reuse post, and this works for posts, this works for resources, this works for all of that. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull up all of your classrooms that you've ever created or that you are a co-teacher on. So if you've ever been made a co-teacher, all of that lives here, whether it is live or if it's been archived. So you will have to remember where that assignment you want to reuse is. Otherwise, you'll be doing a lot of clicking. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to find my class. And you can see here, you can see by the icons that this was a resource, it was an assignment. So you can see what they are by the icons if you don't exactly remember what it was called. So, it automatically defaulted.
It's in one of your classrooms.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah. You're right. It went right into one of my classes. All right. So this is my class list. So you can see classes that are archived or classes that are still live. They don't have archive next to them. So I'm going to select the class that it automatically put me in.
You're in a lot of Google Classrooms there, Jared. You've been using this for a little while, haven't you?
I have. I've been using this for 3 years now.
Yeah, loads of classes.
And then I belong to a lot of other classes too. So, All right. So now I'm in the class that I want to find that assignment with. So I'll have to scroll through and find my assignments. There we go. Build a snowman. I want to reuse that. And then down here, mine's automatically checked, but yours might not be. So it says create new copies of all attachments. So I check that box because what that does is it creates a fresh copy of whatever that file is that was part of that assignment. You don't have to. If it's already a template you've already used and you know it's a clean copy, you don't have to make a copy of it. I personally don't remember. So I'm going to say create a new copy of this attachment. I'm going to say, and then click reuse. And it takes it a minute. I will say, you can't do this really quickly. It's going to sit and think here for a minute. So it's not only just my internet connection. It will take it a minute to think.
Like a while to do, yeah. A few seconds normally. And don't worry, it's not your computer that's slowed down. It is genuinely Classroom. It does take a little while to process through, especially if it's an older classroom. If it's something from a long time ago, it'll take a little bit longer, I've found as well.
Yep. So there we go. I was going to tell a joke. To fill the dead air space because somebody mentioned in our last video that we would get quiet a little too often. So I'm going to go ahead and tell this joke just because I think it's funny and it all might give you a giggle. So it says, what do you call someone with nobody and no nose?
I don't know.
You don't know? Nobody knows.
Wow. Wow. That was awful. I was expecting
It was
to
awful.
I was gearing up for an actual to start laughing, and that was awful.
All right, so now it's loaded the assignment. So it's copied the assignment over. I can change the title, but it does put the title back in there. There you can see I have the drive file. I can add my instructions. I can choose how I want to assign it to students. Again, view, have all of them edit one copy or make a copy for each student. Then you can choose the class that's going to. Obviously, it's the class that I'm originally working in. You can do a point value. You can do your due date. You can then put it into a topic and then just click assign. And voila, you have reused an assignment from years ago and have put it into your current class. And again, this works for posts. This works for resources. So if you know where something is and you want to reuse it, you can do that. And that goes for your archived or your current classes.
Definitely, yeah. And we've had a few people in the chat say how terrible your jokes were there. We had Nicole, and Nicole said it was terrible, and Anne said she really liked it. So we've got a mix of things. And Andy's told you need to learn some new jokes. You might have to, stop working on Classroom for a little while and research new jokes. That's not down to me. That's the audience.
Well, I will tell you one thing. I do not trust stairs because they're always up to something.
I get worse. I actually get worse.
There we go. There's a space for all types of
I
comedy.
can't stick with jokes, but I'll be here to revive that because that was awful.
All right. Oh, Emma says dad jokes. Bring them on. So
that's it. Definitely.
You come to learn about Classroom, but you get the bonus of really bad jokes.
I'm gonna have to make sure I get some for next week. So that's some jokes sorted out, and not corny ones. Stephanie wouldn't be too impressed if I put on some corny jokes. I don't think.
Now I
Okay.
hand it over to you for Google Meet.
Yeah, I feel the power. It's coming in. We had a little comment earlier on about not being able to multi-schedule in Google Classroom, and I'm glad that was mentioned because I'm actually going to take you through a way in which you can do that today. So there's a Google App script that my good friend Gavin Hannell wrote for us. So I will drop a link to his YouTube channel, to his Twitter page in the chat towards the end because I can't take credit for the script, but I'm going to show you how to get that set up on your domain now. So I'm just going to add my screen in here. Okay, so as you can see on my screen here, I've got a Google Classroom. It's saying Google Classroom that Jared was in. And you can see I've currently got some tasks here to be scheduled. So I've got some music of China because I'm a music teacher. So I just copy this out of my school account. And I've also got a Flipgrid Wellbeing Challenge. This is just two demo tasks just to show you how the script would work. But in effect, what you'd need to do is you'd need to have a scheduled post in one Google Classroom to start with, and using the script I'm going to show you today is, you can set up to go across as many classrooms as you want to. Now there is some limitations as well to it, but I am going to run through all of those with you. So this link is in the Wakelet collection that we've shared with you, so we will make sure to post that again for you guys. But there's a link to this app script here, which is the one that Gavin wrote for us. So it's going to look really confusing to you guys, and that's okay. We're not asking you to understand the code. We're not asking you to be able to, read and understand what all these funny, coding letters and everything are about. This is really simple, but you would need your IT admin or domain admin to do this in the first instance for you before you as teachers can do it. So it is just worth noting, you probably would want to send this, even this video, or the video that I've put in the Wakelet collection, which is a demo I've done for my YouTube. Feel free to send the link to this script and the video to your IT admins and see what they think. We're using it in our school district now, and I've got 58 schools in my school district, or in my school multi-academy trust. So we've used it across all 58, and it saves so much time. You know, I teach music, as I said before, and I set the same work for all of my Key Stage 3 students. So I have 6 classes in year 7 and seven classes in year 7 and 6 in year 8. So I have 13 classrooms to post to, and if I was going through and using that reuse post each time, which I was doing for a while, it does take a little bit of time out, you know, quite a long time out of your day to get it in all 13 classrooms. So this has been a lifesaver. So without me talking anymore, I'm just going to show you how this works. So this is what you give to your IT admin, and this is something they need to do first. So what they'd need to do is follow the instructions here. So it's going to ask them to make a copy of this file and then deploy it as a web app. So this is what they would have to do. So I will show you, and then we're going to show you what it looks like from a teacher's point of view. So what you'd have to action in just a few minutes. So I've just made a copy of it here, and I'm going to go to publish and deploy it as web app. So that's just following the 2 steps that's been put on the screen there. And it's going to ask me to execute the app as user accessing the script, and who has access to the app, users within your domain. So it'll make sense when this pop-up appears. So as you can see here, it says execute app as user accessing. So that's what it says over here as well. And then who has access? So anyone within your domains. This is why it's important that your domain admin has to set this up. You guys probably won't have access to do this for your whole domain. So it is worth noting. But your IT admin would do that. I've already got it set up in my instance. So I'm just going to click update. Let's just get this out of the way as well. This is another thing the admin would have to do. They just need to approve in terms of all the permissions. Everything just going to ask for this to work properly. And it's just things like creating and editing posts. And you'll see all those here. So view and manage announcements in Classroom, view coursework and grades, all that sort of stuff. So there's lots of things to read through. So it's just, in effect, it's just giving it access to all of your Google Classrooms to post, create, and see the content that's in there. So your IT admin would allow that. And then they will have to give you this link, or they'll give you a link that gets to this page. So it's the same link I used a minute ago that I copied and pasted in here, but it'll be unique to your school domain. So I can't put that in the Wakelet for you or give it to you in the chat. It won't work. But this is the screen. Once your admin's done that, you can see it just, you know, from that point of view, there's about 2 or 3 clicks and the whole thing was set up and ready to go. So this is the screen that you guys would see as teachers. And this is where the magic really happens. This is going to be your portal, your home base for this. And I'd recommend bookmarking it like we were talking about earlier. So I'm just going to bookmark and take away the name. So I just get a little favicon icon up here. So I know that this is my multi-script or multi-schedule bookmark, this little multicolored thing over here. So that's really cool. Now, there is some instruction on here, tells you what you can and can't do, and some limitations as well. So you might want to read through these. There's a few things that it's not possible yet to do, such as reposting material type coursework. So at the moment, you'd have to set everything as an assignment or quiz assignment. And there is limitations in reposting Google Forms, because if you are posting a form at the moment, you'd probably have your input grade section. And if you repost, it doesn't allow you to do it. But I don't really want to get too bogged down with all the, you know, all the limitations, the admin side of things. I want to show you how it works from a teacher's point of view. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that now. So once this is all set up, and you know, there isn't really a reason this shouldn't be accepted in your school domain. You know, we use it in 58 schools in my trust in the UK, and I know a lot of other trusts now starting to use it as well. So I don't think there's anything there that would compromise data in terms of your schools using them. But as I was saying earlier, you need to have a post in your Google Classroom that's scheduled before this will work. So if I just go back to the Classroom here, you'll see I have 2 posts here scheduled for tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's already done. So I set all my assignment up in one Google Classroom here, and then the magic happens from there. So I'd go back to this, and it's going to ask me to select my starting classroom. So the class that I've scheduled something in to start with. So I'm going to go to this basics classroom, and this will scan that classroom for all assignments that are currently scheduled. So as you can see, I've now got 2 of these appear on my screen. So I've got the Musica China and Flipgrid challenge. Now I can select both of them if I want to, or just one of them. It doesn't really matter, and you can have as many as you want on here. Maybe you've scheduled, you know, a whole week's worth of work if you're really productive and on the ball, and you might want to copy that across to all of your classrooms. And you can select all of those, and they'll appear in the same order as you see on here. But then it's going to ask you to select the classrooms you want to post it in. So I can decide I want to post it to this training with BM and training with BM term 2 here. So I can see that I'm now going to post that to 2 of these classrooms. Now I just want to show you those classrooms as well, so you can see there's nothing in there. I haven't set this up, you know, trickery. I'm not, you know, trying to play a magical joke on you. I'm just going to show you those classrooms to see there's nothing in there currently. So this is my training with BM account, classroom, sorry. And there's nothing in today's work yet. You can see there's no Flipgrid challenge, no Music of China challenge, okay? And the same in this term 2 classroom as well. Nothing in here either. So you can see they're completely blank. And now I'm going to show you how this script really does copy over. So I've selected the classroom it's in. I've selected the tasks I want to copy over and the classrooms in which I want to copy to. And as I say, I use 13 classrooms for this, and it copies over. So I don't use any more than 13 at a time, but I don't know what the limit is on here. But it's just, you know, just worth noting I can do 13. So once you're done, click copy, and then the script will start running. It will do its thing. Takes about 30 seconds to a minute, and if obviously the more classrooms you've got, the longer it will probably take. But it will run the script, and once it's done, it will show me, you know, back to the home screen as you see here. So it asks me to choose a scheduled room again. So that's now run. So I'm going to go back to my Google Classroom now. Oh, I'm giving you. You can see they're still in here. It doesn't affect any of the original posts. But if I go into these 2 classrooms now and go to Classwork, oh, don't. There you go. So I was going to say I thought it'd trip me up. Then I was going to be, you know, looking really silly there for a minute. You can see they're both pulled through, and we can go into both of these. It pulls through all your instructions, all of your attachments. It also pulls through your points value, your due date, and topic. So it pulls through everything that's related to that task. You know, these videos that I had attached to it, my exit ticket I had attached, the game pin for Kahoot, because this was a Kahoot quiz. So you can see it's pulled through everything in terms of this, and you can go in and edit this in any way you want. If you want to have a different due date, different topic, different points, if you want to, you can adjust all of these without affecting the original post. So, you know, once we had this set up in our school, I can't tell you how much time it saved. You know, when I was reposting from classroom to classroom to classroom 13 times, that's just for Key Stage 3. That's not Key Stage 4 or 5. You know, it was taking a long time, and this is really, really sped up the process. So, you know, this is all in the Wakelet collection. There is a video that takes you through this again, that's on my YouTube channel, because I'm aware it's a lot to take in. But in effect, you guys will get the link that just shows this screen, and you can just post, you know, select the classroom it's in originally, select the post you want to take out, and what classrooms you want them to go to. So, you know, trying to wrap it up, it's a really nice way to save you a lot of time whilst also making things really productive and getting things spread across in a matter of minutes. And it's all thanks to an app script, which is web-based. So, as just answering Tamina's question there, as long as, you know, because it's web-based, you know, providing your IT admin has approved it, it doesn't matter which device you use to run this. So that's just something I really like, and you know, I don't know if any of you know of Rachel Coath, but she's working in a new Academies Trust now here in the UK, and she watched a video and she's now implemented it in her branch of schools as well, because she's one of the IT admins. So, you know, it's a lot of people catching on. I can't take credit for the script because it definitely wasn't me. I'm not that clever, but Gavin Hannell is, and he's the one that created it. So, you know, show him some love. You know, make sure you say thank you to him, because I'm just showing you how it works. I didn't have anything to do with the making of this. So
that's the pretty cool part with Google products. You know, whether it's a Chrome extension or an app script like this, it's really cool what people can create that can make your experience even better. I know personally it would be nice if Google would implement something on like this
for themselves.
For themselves officially, to make it a lot easier, because not everybody IT's department is easily to work with than others. So that's really cool that you were able to get yours to do that, and hopefully some of you watching can get your IT department to do that as well. I know we had a couple of questions.
Yeah, I was just about to go through the questions to see if I can answer them, because I'm aware that's quite intense, and I don't want to sort of scare people off. I'm just trying to make things, this is something that someone's created to make our lives easier. So
that's right. Nicole asked, can you set this up even if you only on Google Education Package and not on Enterprise?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that our school we're on trial for the Enterprise package. But this was, I believe that's only a limited trial, and I haven't heard any problems with it being used on the basic education package. I'm yet to find that, so I have to presume it's yes, it will work on all those packages until I hear different.
And definitely, like I said, like Ben said, it's in the Wakelet. So show your IT admin that video to see if it's possible to implement for you and your teachers, because that would be a lifesaver. I know I will approach my IT people about it.
Yeah, it saved us so much time, and it's great. My teachers love it. So,
and then I think you answered this one. Tamina said, as it is web-based, is it fair to assume that it doesn't matter if you're using a school laptop or a personal one?
Yeah, so it's as long as your IT admin's approved it, because it is web-based, anything with an internet connection and Chrome, or maybe even not, we recommend Chrome, but it could be any device with an internet connection. It doesn't have to be a school device, but as I say, it does have to. It probably won't work from your side unless you're the admin, unless your admin has approved it. I don't know. I haven't tried it. It may work for you. But I wouldn't want to get any of you in trouble by saying go and try this on your school domain and then get in trouble with your administrators and leaders. So it's best just to run it past them. Rather be safe than sorry. I wouldn't want any of you guys getting in trouble.
Teresa asks, where can they find the script? And that is in our Wakelet, correct?
Oh yeah, I've just put the Wakelet link on the screen. I'll put it in the chat for you guys as well. So if you go onto that Wakelet link, if I actually copy that link, and I'll just show you what it looks like from our side. Give me 1 second. Just pop it in here.
And while he's looking, I got another one for you. So, what kind of shoes do you think ninjas wear?
What kind of shoes?
That ninjas wear. What kind?
I don't know. I know it's going to be really bad, but I can't think of something really bad to answer with.
Sneakers. Duh. They got to sneak around.
Damn, that is. I can see where it comes from, but damn. So I'll just quickly run through its Wakelet collection with everyone. So at the top here, using that link, you have access to today's recording. So this is the video we're currently streaming now. You have a link to that here. You also got the feedback form, which we'll ask you to complete at the end, just to help us improve and continue with these sessions. Now, the script is this third one down. It says sign in with Google. For some reason, it doesn't let me change a title, but this would be your Google app script. And then there's a video here on my YouTube that shows you how to do it as well. So some more resources in here for you guys to have a look at and use. But these two here, the sign in with Google and the classroom icon here, are the two things you'd probably want to send to your admin. All right. So I think we've got one more thing to run through, haven't we? We've got about another 5 or 10 minutes. We've got one more thing we want to run through, didn't we, Jared? So do you want to jump back in for that, and I can just chip in as and when?
Which one are we jumping back into? I've been so focused on my comedy act, I have completely forgotten.
I mean, we've got to have a quick look at the Meet integration with Google Classroom. So I'm happy to run through as I'm on the screen, or you can take it absolutely fine.
Since you're on the screen, I'll let you go ahead and.
Okay, right. I'll go through it and just chip in whenever you can. You know, it's good to. I might not have recognised something you might know that I might not. So just chip in whenever you can.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna find some good jokes here.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll have to get a good one out before the end of the show, I suppose. So we're going to go through the Google Meet integration now. So Google Meet is, well, we've all been using it a lot recently, and the Meet integration is something that has been a really welcome feature, and only arrived to Classroom probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago now.
I think for us in the States, or at least I remember seeing it showing up about early April, if I'm remembering correctly.
Or maybe it was a bit longer than what I think it was. Maybe we just lost track of time over the last few months. So it might have been a little bit longer than that, but it has been a really welcome feature, and I know a lot of educators across the world have really embraced that update and used it to its full potential. So what do we mean when we say integration with Classroom? Well, as you can see here, I'm on my stream page of the Google Classroom, and I'm going to go over to the Classroom Basics rather than that one there. But in the banner, you'll see you have a Meet link appear. Now, excuse me. Now, this may not have something on immediately. It may not be showing for you, or it may be showing and say generate new link, similar to this classroom here. It says generate Meet link. That's because you haven't yet used it. So it's just showing you what it will look like on your screen. So in order to get this working, we need to go to our settings column in the top right-hand corner here. So we're going to go to the settings, and we're going to scroll down slightly so we can see this general tab. We as well. Now, it will probably show us off to start with for you guys, and you probably won't have anything in here. It'll probably say generate Meet link for you as well. That'll be if you're doing it for the first time, but obviously we've created one already. So as you can see, we've got our own link here already. Now, it is unique to your Google Classroom, and that's what's great about it, because it's unique to just those people in your Google Classroom, in that particular Google Classroom, and there's a unique one for each classroom you're part of. So you've got options here to make it visible to students or not. And why is that important? Well, I think it's really important actually, because you don't really want to have, well, depending on your admin settings, you don't want to have it visible to students all the time. Because in some instances, you know, at the start when this was first released, we found that students were going into meets on their own without any teacher present, without any supervision. But you know, with admin settings being changed, we've now set it up so only teachers can create meets and students can't get into a meet without teachers being there. But if you haven't yet got that set up, this visibility to students is really important. So I'd recommend having it always off, unless you're just about to go into the meeting. So, for example, you might decide you're going to do a live lesson with students Monday morning at 10 o'clock 10 o'clock, for example. So you could decide you're going to do a live lesson with them, but you wouldn't want to make this link visible until about 9:50. And at 9:50, you'd make it visible and go straight into the meeting yourself. So you're the first person in, so you have control over the whole meeting. So I'm going to turn this Meet link on so it's visible to students. And you'll see that now appears in this top bar. And if I turn that visibility off, this whole link disappears. The students won't be able to see it. But you can see it's visible here at the moment. And I can hover over this, and it's a hyperlink which takes me directly to that unique Google Meet link. Now it's going to take me in. It's probably going to put my face on the screen again. So I'm just going to turn it off. But this is a unique link, so I can join directly in here. So, you know, we're not going to do a session about what Google Meet is and what the features are. We're just looking at the integration with Classroom at the moment. So you can see it does that. You can go straight into that there. Now, I'm going to go into one of my student accounts in Classroom and just show you how that works as well. So just see it from a student point of view. So I'm going to go into my student account. You can see it's a student account. So I've got this yellow horrible banner at the top. I really don't like that, but it's just there to show you guys that it's a student account. So I'm going to go to Google Classroom. I'm going to go to the same classroom we're in and just show you how that looks from a student point of view. So again, you can see I've got the Meet link here, and I can hover over that myself as a student and go straight into the meeting as well. Load up exactly the same as your teacher account. So in this instance, I've got my domain set up that students can't join without staff. So because I'm not there yet, it says this meeting hasn't yet started. So that's just a safety feature I've got set up. But I'm going to turn that off now in the teacher account and watch it disappear here in live time. So I'm just going to go back to that.
While it's doing that, yeah, you do want to check with your IT admin to find out what your settings are, because everybody can be a little bit different on how that is organized. So
yeah, definitely, yeah, it's like it very much every admin sets up things in a slightly different way, so it is worth checking. Yeah. So I'm now going to turn this visibility off to students. So I'm going to know it's off because that toggle switch has gone to the left. And you can click the save button in the top right once you're done. Now, you'll see from your point of view that link is still there, but you have a cross through the eye. So that means it's not visible. And we can, I'm going to show you that works as well by going back to that user account, refresh my page. And now you can see there's no Meet link there at all. I can't click anywhere, doesn't let me into any Meet. Doesn't let me do anything. Now, there was a really great comment just come through on a chat from Bonnie saying, can students screenshot the link and use it later without a teacher? Great question, Bonnie, and thank you for asking. Well, in simple answer, again, it is down, it's very much down to your admin settings, whether they can join without a teacher. But if they do, for whatever reason, you can reset that link using the settings page here. So the way you do that is, again, go back to on here and hovering over your Google Meet link. And you've got like a little drop down arrow here, which you can click on and reset the code. So you can reset that code. And then, again, your visibility automatically turns off. And you can turn it back on when you're ready to go back in with students. Now, it is worth noting, once you leave a meeting, it takes around 30 seconds to a minute for the whole meeting to close off. So students would be able to get in for about a minute. So it might be worth you sort of hanging about. But just once you're the last one out of the meeting, well, make sure you're the last one out of the meeting, close off and leave and turn the visibility off. Now, if you're set up correctly, the students will get kicked out. But again, I can't tell you too much about that because I don't know how all your schools are set up. But your IT things are all they all know about all this. They would have had lots of emails about Google Meet settings from Google over this time, so I'm sure they would have already done this for you. But it is the first person in, has control, so muting students, has access to kick people out, and you need to make sure as a teacher you're the last person to go out. So that's really covering it very, very briefly because I'm worried about time, and obviously answering all the our amazing questions we're having coming through in the chat. It's been so active today, so I really want to answer all of the questions.
It is. That's great. It's great. And if we run long because of the interaction in the chat, that's perfectly good, because if we can answer questions and help you live, that's what this is all about. Like Ben said, a good rule of thumb: be the last one out of your Google Meet to make sure everybody gets out. Linger for a little bit longer to make sure nobody tries to sneak back in. But like I said, go into your settings, turn the link off, reset it, and you should be good. But yes, check with your IT people to find out what settings they have turned on and off. Because I know for my district, we have been talking about leaving the ability for students to create meets on their own, just because that way they can collaborate and complete assignments that way. So good rule of thumb: check with IT or any digital specialists that you have to find that out.
Yeah, and as I say, this is I went over it very quickly there because I've seen all these questions, and I personally really want to answer all these questions to you live. As I say, this is what all these sessions are about. But if you want to know, a more in-depth going over of Google Meet integration, again, there's another video for that in your in the Wakelet collection you have access to. So do check it out if you want to. I'm not trying to self-promote. I'm just trying to give you resources. I just want to try and help you guys. So, you know, check it out. Don't feel like you have to, you know, subscribe or like or anything like that. It's just purely just to try and help you guys out. So, or on the other hand, if you want to subscribe, I don't mind. I'm not going to be offended. You know, just check them out. You know, there's some good stuff on there, and hopefully a little bit more in depth. If you're a little bit confused by what I went through there. So, just opportunities and resources for you guys.
Yeah, and keep a look out. There's some really cool features coming to Google Meet for the coming school year. So I know I'm very excited about breakout rooms. So that's going to have a lot of cool potential. I think there's talk of a virtual whiteboard or something like that.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. The hand raising feature, be able to mute all participants and turn cameras off for all participants as well.
Yeah, mute all. Yeah, turn camera. Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff. We'll have to wait and see when that all comes out. Yeah, Crystal said can't wait for breakout rooms. So yeah, same here. I already got ideas of how to do that with teachers and show them how you can use breakout rooms. So I'm excited for that feature too.
It's gonna be cool, yeah.
But you can still do breakout rooms without the new feature. You can actually create multiple Meet links, put it into a Google Doc, and then you can do like a column A, you know, break up your groups and say, all right, group A, you're using this Meet link, group B, and then as a teacher, you can set them to record, and then you can come in and out of them to check in on students. So
yeah, definitely. So
Catherine's asking, is there a waiting room feature in Meet? I don't think that's.
I can't be 100% sure. I don't think I saw that personally.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that either.
So, should we let ladies and gents know what we're going to be looking at next week?
Yes. So next week we are, like I said, we decided to break this up into smaller chunks, so that way we can spend a little bit more time on all the cool features instead of trying to rush through them. So next week, and I think we're looking at Monday, but we'll send out more information with that soon. We will be talking about creating quizzes using Google Forms and Google Classroom, along with providing assignment feedback, and then how Google Classroom can integrate with a lot of different platforms like Quizzes and Kahoot and Edpuzzle, just to name a few. There are a ton of really cool tools that integrate really well with Classroom. So we won't go into all of them, but we can kind of show you what some of those look like. And then recently, there's some new extensions that have come out that can help with providing feedback to students in a very timely manner, and also a way to kind of organize your Google Classroom as well. So we'll take a look at those, and then our last session will be about creating custom banners. So those custom banners we mentioned last time, and what you saw on our page here, how to create those using Bitmojis and things like that. So we'll spend some time on how to create that, because once you upload it, that's the easy part. But how do you create it? And it's a cool way to add customization and your own personality to your classroom. Because if you're in 100% virtual world, that's a really good way to bring the classroom feeling alive, you know, like you decorate your classroom, you know, physically, but if you're not able to meet there, say that again, you broke up.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, it's a way to show your personality if you can't physically get in the classroom with your students, and you know, be your bubbly self, have all your beautiful displays up. If you're in a virtual world, it's one of the only ways you can really express you as a person.
And you can design them and change out your banners every so often. So a lot of cool things. And unfortunately, it does do that. You know, kind of darkens it. But
yeah, we'll chat about that when it comes to it. That's a big thing. But yeah.
Let's see. Oh, there you go. You caught it. Chip was saying, post the link again.
Yeah, so the link for the Wakelet is up on the screen here, guys. It's also in the chat, so feel free to take a copy of that. Have a look through. Anything you need, sort of, you know, contact us on Twitter. We're both on Twitter, so message either of us. It's absolutely fine. You know, we're happy to help, and just happy that we're inspiring you guys to do wonderful things in your classroom. So if there is any questions after the session, you know, let us know.
And fill out the feedback form if you want the Jared and Ben comedy duo to continue. Let us know what other sessions you might be interested in. We'd be more than happy to create some other ones. I know Ben and I had talked yesterday about some ideas on applied digital skills and some things like that could be in the future as well.
That's it. So yeah, make sure you do fill out that feedback form just to help us continue and continue with these dad jokes. I'm going to try and recover that from next week and get some good jokes. I'll bring Team GEG back. We're going to have some good banter. So we'll balance it off. We'll have some dad jokes from Jared and some good jokes from me.
That's right, because how do penguins build their houses?
I don't know. Tell me.
With igloo.
Igloo.
With igloo.
Are you reading the dad joke Bible or something?
I am. UK sarcasm. I love it. Well, thank you all for attending. Again, reach out to us on Twitter if you have any questions or need anything else. Again, do our feedback form. Let us know how else we can help you, and we will catch you next week. So be on the lookout for those announcements as well.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a lovely evening or afternoon, morning, wherever you are.
Morning, evening, or night. Yeah, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much.
See you later.
Bonnie says cut down on your caffeine. I don't think so, Bonnie. I need more.
See
See y'all later. Bye.
you later, everyone.